Uh-oh, guess what day it is?
I'm gonna make you girls a HumpDay treat.
Mike. It's Hump Day.
Perhaps I could help you with that hump. What hump?
A very good day for some midweek malarkey.
Indeed, it's Wednesday. That must mean it's time for midweek malarkey. Hello. I'm sorry. Let me take my gum out. First thing they teach you in radio broadcasting school and in school in general. It's time for midweek malarkey where we get together, spend a few minutes, maybe 30, maybe 45, maybe 5. Who knows? But it's time spent not having to worry about the spreadsheets and all that other crap. So if you are just joining us, welcome. I want to, first of all, by the way, my name, me llamo Brad. For all of you illegals coming across right now. Brad. Me llamo Brad. I'm doing muy bueno. Uno más cerveza, por favor. And ¿dónde está el baño? That's all you really need. I do want to thank the Brown folks for, UPS, those Brown, for delivering my brown cock today. Because it came in the mail, and I'm very happy about it, and now I'll be able to get on that project that I needed the brown cock for. And that's what Brown did for me. Again, if you're new to Midweek Malarkey, we do this every Wednesday, 4 o'clock Central. That would be 5 o'clock Eastern Time. And then we also have another little show that we do that is during the week, Monday through Friday from, 7 to 9 Central? Already forgotten. Look, I turned double 30s. So you have to forgive me. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed anymore. I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as, well, maybe not. We're coming to you live and direct from the Dirty Turtle Bar and Grill here at the Desert Air Motel Convention Center, Disco Lounge, former Bunny Slope, in the heart of Texas. And right out of the gate, our very first story comes to us from Padawan, Utah. Not Padawan, Parawan. Just so you know, this is not the truck. But a 47-year-old man was arrested in Parawan, Utah, March 17th, after multiple drivers reported him from I-15. Callers said the man's pickup truck had red and blue flashing lights, and they were getting into other vehicles to move out of their way. Which I have to say, first of all, genius. Good for him. Probably not the brightest thing to do, in front of other people, because, you never know when the cops are going to be around. What tipped him off? The pickup also had a construction company logo on the side. The truck you're looking at, is not that truck, in the interest of full disclosure. But it does have the red and the blue lights. The suspect indicated he was only trying to get through traffic faster, not pull anyone over. Yeah, they just... here's an important note for that story. He also tested positive. Wait for it. He also tested positive for cannabis, amphetamines, and methamphetamine. Because nothing says party in the middle of traffic like the small bag of white powder that he also had with him that he said he uses to stay awake while driving. He was booked into the Iron County Jail. He just wanted to get to work. That's all he wanted. He didn't want to pull anybody over. He just wanted to get through traffic faster. Can you blame him? I mean, it doesn't matter where you go these days. There's somebody already there. I do miss that about the whole pandemic, man. You go out and streets were empty, barren. Meet this woman. I said this woman. Director, brand new director. We just hired her. This woman. Thank you. This woman is, her name is Emma Keene. She is a charity fundraiser. She was airlifted to a hospital after she was attacked by a yak. Yes, it was a yak attack. Don't look at me. She's the one who got attacked. She was on her mission to climb Mount Everest despite her injuries. So they airlifted her out. Obviously, this happened close to Mount Everest. She was with a group from South Wales trekking for different charities. She was left with a 3-inch cut to her leg after the attack. Those yaks, I'm just saying, you got to be careful about the yaks and the yak attack. She chose the charity, the Kidney Wales Foundation, because her mom, Helen, had polycystic kidneys and needed an urgent kidney transplant. The story continues with regard to Ms. Keene. She FaceTimed with her brother and sister-in-law. She showed them a yak standing just about 2 meters away, which is what? 2 meters away is like 6 feet, right? Damn it, Jimmy Carter. So 6 feet away, there is a yak standing. Without warning, she could hear the hoofs pounding toward me. She said a sharp stabbing pain in the top of my leg. The yak was readying for another run at her when she was helped away and airlifted to that hospital where she indeed got 10 stitches. And she was able to finish the hike on horseback. Those damned yaks. Don't talk back. Sorry, that was too easy. This smiling man works in the government. How could you tell? This is South Carolina Treasurer Curtis Loftus. The caption on this photo says he smiles during a meeting of the State Fiscal Accountability Authority on Tuesday, March 26, 2024, in Columbia, South Carolina. It was just last week, day before I turned old. Here's the situation over there in South Carolina. Apparently, it's a mystery. They're investigating how $1.8 billion just wound up in an account over the last decade. It's accumulated in this bank account. The authorities there do not know where the money is coming from, nor where it is supposed to go. Remember, these are the people who are running our government agencies for us, well, especially you there in South Carolina. It does not inspire confidence, this according to Governor Henry McMaster, but the good news is that no money was lost. Well, how do they know? If they don't know where the money is coming from and they don't know where it's supposed to go, how do they know there was no money lost? Meanwhile, state officers are pointing fingers at each other, naturally. Lawmakers are annoyed that the money is sitting idle while requests from state agencies are going unfulfilled. There is no need to hurry up and try to spend it. This according to the governor, Mr. McMaster. He said it's like going, actually this was another Senate Republican, Larry Grooms, said it's like going into your bank account and the bank president tells you, you have a lot of money in our vault, but we just don't know who it belongs to. Inspires confidence, doesn't it? It's apparently the latest trouble with the state's books, and the two agencies, typically led by elected officials, go figure, are in charge of making sure the government accounts stay balanced. And why wouldn't government accounts stay balanced, you ask? Well, we don't know. Last year, the elected Republican Comptroller General, the state's top accountant, resigned after his agency started double posting money in higher education accounts, leading to a $3.5 billion error that was all on paper. Those wacky politicians. Am I right? It's like a Saturday morning cartoon. Speaking of Saturday morning, every Saturday morning we get together. That would be Jeff Fisher and myself. We get together for a little something called the Saturday Morning Live. Jeff is the host of the Chewing the Fat podcast over on the Blaze Radio Network. And I usually, again, over at the Daily Mojo. If you're watching right now at the Daily Mojo, you already knew that. But we get up extra early on Saturday mornings just for you because we know that Saturday morning cartoons now suck and have for decades. and we're trying to do something about that. So join us Saturday morning. You'll find that right here. Same web address. You just type into your computer machine, http:// just go to thedailymojo.com and you'll find us. If you don't go to thedailymojo.com and join us on Saturday morning, you'll end up looking like this, which is a horrible, horrible thing. No one likes this. This, if you are unfamiliar with Baba Vanga is a Bulgarian mystic, correctly predicted many past world events, the Chernobyl disaster in Ukraine, the death of Princess Diana, 9/11 in New York, even her own death on August 11th, 1996 at the age of 85. Well, her followers say that she predicted all that stuff. But Baba Vanga has made she made a lot of predictions, because that's what she did before she died. The 2024 predictions, they call her, by the way, the Nostradamus of the Balkans. Baba Vanga, let's see, in January, the site shared the list of predictions for this year, including alien encounters and the end for Russian President Vladimir Putin, that commie bastard. So far this year, her other predictions, that would be terrorist attacks on Europe, a surge in cyber attacks, and medical and technological breakthroughs are happening. I think anyone can see that old Baba Vanga nailed it right there on the head of the nail. You know what I'm saying? Every dog has its day. Europe is supposedly set for increased terror attacks in 2024. Is that like on a calendar somewhere? Europe is supposedly set for increased terror attacks in 2024. All right. The clairvoyant warned, and the recent attack in Moscow's Crocus City Hall seems to point to signs that she, in fact, was right. More than 110 people died there, including children. That was, of course, when the ISIS Special K marched in. Hours after the attack, the Islamic group claimed responsibility for the brutality, and the danger level in other countries was also raised. Let's see, what else has she said? Multiple governments have suffered exhaustive cyber attacks in 2023 and in 2024. Technology issues have already struck the world, right? Like that big technological breakthrough in the shiznit. Big time. And don't forget that McDonald's, Tesco, Greggs, and Sainsbury's, for all of our UK friends, have experienced hacking this year. Some even say that, big cargo ships may have experienced hacking this year. But it's only April, though, and Venga warned that this year's cyber attacks will not be the run-of-the-mill type. Is she talking about shipping? One never knows. Does one? She said more strides will also be made in medicine and tech, along with new treatments for incurable diseases such as Alzheimer's and cancer. We will get to the royal stories. As a matter of fact, why don't we do the first one now? And if you are interested, hang on a second. I think it's this one. You're interested, you need something, what you need, let me know. Now, I'll tell you, before you go sending me an email at brad@mojo50.com, I am horrible at checking emails. So if it's a life or death situation, don't depend on me. I am not the guy. You can also find me on the socials at RealBradStaggs. And if you want to join our little texting group and be able to text ideas, thoughts, concerns, criticisms, etc. to us during either Midweek Malarkey, the Daily Mojo, Saturday Morning Live, all you have to do is text the word Daily Mojo, all one word. Text that to 80123, and you'll get a confirmation text in return. Save that number, and you can text right back at us anytime your little heart desires. As a matter of fact, I can check over there right now and see if there are any texts flying in. Nope, that was a little too quick. You really want expedited service, write whatever it is you want me to know on the back of a $100 bill and send that to me. That'll go right to the top. So from Baba Vanga to Nostradamus, apparently he had some interesting predictions for possibly this year. He predicted, Nostradamus did, that King Charles's reign may come to an untimely end this year following his and Kate Middleton's news about having cancer, obviously. Nostradamus, who, again, they say that he foresaw events including 9/11 and the cost of living crisis. I predict there will be a cost of living crisis later this year and possibly next year. I mean, you can quote me on that. He wrote 942 predictions for the future in his book, Les Prophéties. You may remember when he put that out, back in 1555. That's right. That was a good year. Very good year. He wrote that drama could be on the cards for the royal family in 2024, which is right where we are, saying the king may be driven out by force. The book, the actual quatrain says, or reads, King of the Isles driven out by force, replaced by one who will have no mark of a king. Harry, anyone? No, I don't mean Harry, anyone, but Harry. Prince Harry. Anyone. You get the idea. Expert Mario Redding analyzed the passage and interpreted it because they disapproved of his divorce, a man who later they considered unworthy. The people will force out the king of the islands. A man will replace who never expected to be king. He also, Nostradamus, not King Charles, also foresaw the death of Queen Elizabeth II in 2022 and even guessed her age correctly. Who knew? Queen Elizabeth II will die circa 22 at the age of around 96. It's a little creepy if that is what, in fact, the premonition said, according to analyst Mario Redding. Of course, it's according to analyst Mario Redding. Up next, on our royally weird edition of Midweek Malarkey, you may be familiar with this woman and her story.
In January, I underwent major abdominal surgery in London, and at the time, it was thought that my condition was non-cancerous. The surgery was successful. However, tests after the operation found cancer had been present. My medical team therefore advised that I should undergo a course of preventative chemotherapy, and I'm now in the early stages of that treatment.
All right, just so you know, this video that many have said didn't look quite right, may have been a deep fake, any number of things. This video got a disclaimer from Getty Images. This is on the tail of the other Photoshop fail that they asked me, they threw Kate under the bus on that whole Photoshop fail with the kid missing the finger, and I don't think it was her, but what do I know? So they say that she photoshopped that. They're also saying that here's the thing. They're just saying this is a standard disclaimer. Getty Images added the editor's note to the Duchess's cancer announcement video. It reads, this handout clip was provided by a third-party organization and may not adhere to Getty Images editorial policy. Don't get all your conspiratorial hairs all up in a bunch because Getty says this disclaimer is standard practice for a third party such as Kensington Palace. So don't worry about it. It's what they say about all of them. Don't you worry your pretty little head. I'm sure it's not a deep fake. I mean, why would it be a deep fake? Kate's fine. So's Kensington Palace. At least that's what they say. And as we remain across the pond, this is, and I think this has happened before. Well, you can quote me on that. Of course, this has happened before. This is these are the Dorset Cliffs. This is, what was that show? Remember the show where they did the thing with the guy with the stuff, and they were, what was that? It was the dude who was Doctor Who, David Tennant. Anyway, this is where all those cliffs always fall, because, well, that's how cliffs are made. But this is actual footage from, I think it's last week. When was this? It was over the Easter weekend. So here you go. This is actual footage. The cliff collapsed. Look at that. That is a whole lot of rock and dirt. You know, again, that's not the first time that's happened there. Took place on the Jurassic Coast while members of the public were less than 50 meters away. And if you know your metric system like I know mine, you know that 50 meters, no laughing matter, right? They also closed the southwest coast path because of, you can see those are their paths or their drainage ditches on the side. But these cliffs fall all the time. I mean, that's how they got to be cliffs. But it's just amazing that they can catch them on video. This was drone footage filmed by Omar El Haj. Part of the cliff can be seen crumbling just like a sandcastle falling into the sea. Right? Beautiful. Omar told Storyful about what it was like witnessing this. As soon as I zoomed in, the cliff began to collapse. All that rock, all that dirt. People were mere meters away as several tons of rock came crashing down into the sea. Naturally, following the incident, the Dorset Council warned of a greater risk of landslides. Just like the government, isn't it? Hey, by the way, we think that cliff over there could be, it could fall. Anyway, we have a sponsor. Well, in theory, we have a sponsor this week. Midweek Malarkey, brought to you by GetWellMojo.com. It's your portal into the wellness company if you are seriously looking for people you can trust when it comes to, the medical industry and health. I trust these folks. You can get these emergency medical kits. You can go to GetWellMojo.com, find out more. See if it's a company you would like doing business with. I enjoy them. Maybe you will too. Over at GetWellMojo.com. Now, there's also I found this. Sometimes we like to dig deep into the old Wayback Machine. You know what I'm saying? Going way back. This is from does the Onion still exist? I don't even know if they still do. This is 10 years ago on the Onion's YouTube channel. And it's called The Back of Library Smells Like Weed. And it's kind of funny.
Well, everyone in Pennington is talking about it. Something smells like weed in that back part of the library.
No one has located the source of the weed smell, but witnesses say that it seems to come from that area of the library behind the computer desk between the magazine rack and that weird couch.
Head librarian Cookie Stevens and library volunteers Margaret Mosier and Gail Fredericks were in the middle of discussing the upcoming used book saleganza when they smelled something strange.
So he smelled marijuana somewhere, and we're like shocked.
Yeah.
And so Doug goes, "Do you smell it?"
Oh, I thought it was my lean cuisine that I left in
Could
the
smell
microwave.
something funny, like it was on fire.
We thought it was Cookie's lean cuisine on fire.
And I couldn't believe it was drugs
No,
in
I've
the
never smelled
library.
anything like
Gail
that
knew
in
what
my
it was.
life.
I guessed. It's not like I'm Cheech and Chong or something.
Without any way to confirm that the smell was indeed weed, Cookie Stevens called her husband Sheriff Stevens, who called in local ceramics teacher Dutch Gibbs, who lived in Seattle for a few months in the 70s.
Yeah, that's weed.
Sheriff Stevens has begun compiling a list of potential suspects, including that boy Lance, who has girl hair and hangs out down by the quarry, Greg Fromke, who was spotted this evening really going to town on some potato skins at Steaky Jake's Steakhouse, and Mr. Thompson. Luckily, one young reading enthusiast seemed unperturbed by the illicit smell.
I hear a lot of people talking about it. I mean, I don't smell anything. I mean, I don't smell anything. I really, really, really love the library.
The weed smell comes on the heels of last month's discovery of a gigantic pair of women's underpants in the children's fiction section. According to Stevens, that case remains open as well. Well, too bad it wasn't meth. They just could have had you come down and sniff it out, huh, Kathy?
Eat shit, Randall. I'm in recovery.
That from The Onion. By the way, yes, they still do exist at theonion.com. You know, that was kind of edgy for 10 years ago. Was it 2014? Remember back then? You remember all those years ago, 2014? My, oh my, how things have changed since then. I'd like you to take a good long look at this man. That right there, that is the look of regret. That man, who strangely enough is from Florida, and his name is Max Krishankitim. He's 33 years old. He pleaded no contest to a misdemeanor charge related to his obtaining of a tattoo from Ink God's Parlor in St. Petersburg back in December. This may come as a complete shock to you, and I hope you're driving. You should probably pull over. If you're not sitting, you should probably sit down. But he says that he was drinking when he decided to go into the Ink God's Parlor in St. Petersburg in December and get a tattoo. The tattoo was 5 inches long. It was on his right calf. That does not look like a calf. Boy, he's got some skinny legs. That's the tattoo he got right there. That's a calf? He is a skinny dude, let me just say. It's a Waffle House tattoo. Yeah. I mean, he says he was drunk. I'm not sure I believe him. The cops reported he had been drinking when he requested the 5-inch Waffle House tattoo in black and gray. Now, it would have cost $100 more if the logo had been done in yellow. When it came time to pay the $250 bill, damn, prices have gone up. Craig Jenkinson only had $6. He refused all options to satisfy his debt. Shame on you, Mr. Kraken Janitson. He was arrested, booked into the county jail where he spent the night before his $150 bond was posted by a neighbor at Clearwater's Avalon RV Resort. By the way, it was a $250 tattoo originally. He will now have to pay a total of $675 in fines, court costs, and fees, all because of that damned Waffle House. Another face you should probably take a look at. She is a lesson. Meet Celia Barrett. I believe we talked about Celia Barrett. It's been a while. I think it was this past month. In any event, this is going to shock you again. She is from Florida. She has begun serving her prison sentence for a recent naked rampage at a convenience store that included a self-pleasuring session right there in front of the cops. You remember that? She was in the convenience store, and the cops showed up, and they're like, "Hey, what are you doing?" She's like, "Hey, watch this." I'm going to go out on a limb and think that probably there was some alcohol. Oh, wait. Hold on. This is another shocker. I know. Get ready for it. In addition to the prison term, Barrett, who had previously served time for battery and marijuana possession, was ordered to pay fines, fees, and court costs totaling about $1,100. Just so you know, it would probably been cheaper to go to a strip club. Just saying. She was sentenced to 15 months in state prison. after she pled guilty to aggravated assault. That's a felony. And 4 misdemeanors, including exposure of sexual organs and disorderly intoxication. Shame. Shame. Following her sentencing, she was transferred late last month from the Pinellas County Jail to the custody of the Florida Department of Wildlife. Just kidding. I meant corrections. She could probably use our hopes and prayers. Just saying. Oh. Let me see here. I think we have a picture of, and I want to be perfectly clear on this. This is not necessarily the victim of the crime. However, what you're about to see is a picture of a dumbass. Right there. And I noticed, and believe it or not, that just popped up in a Google search for, I think it was stupid person. And if you'll notice down there in the corner, it says uglypeople.com. Do not, I repeat, do not go to uglypeople.com, especially if you live in Texas, because that's not what it is. Anyhow, so it was last week a Columbia County Sheriff's deputy interviewed a Martinez woman, being represented here, regarding a larceny theft by deception. Right? Who doesn't get stuck in that trap on occasion? Larceny theft by deception. She was scammed out of $8,000. The victim explained that the theft began with an email on March the 21st stating that her Norton antivirus protection subscription would auto-debit her account for $245.36. So she, not her, but probably someone very much like her, dialed the telephone number listed in the email and spoke with David. You know, David. Everybody loves David. He instructed her to download several apps onto her cell phone so that he could better assist her. One of the apps was AnyDesk, which allowed David to access her phone. David then told her he accidentally, wasn't on purpose, accidentally put $8,000 into her checking account. She would need to withdraw the money from her bank and purchase $8,000 in Bitcoin to return the funds, and she followed his instructions. At what point during this little escapade do you realize that it's, you know, a scam? Now, personally, if they had deposited $8,000 into my account, I'd have just kept it. After he received the money, he continued to request more. That's a weird one, huh? He directed her to purchase 2 $500 Apple gift cards and contact him with the card numbers. Well, while she was purchasing the gift cards, the Walmart cashier, there's a real twist of ironic fate there. The Walmart cashier advised her that she was being scammed. Good for them. She immediately traveled to her bank. She closed all of her accounts and her credit cards. She then contacted the sheriff's office. Copies of her bank statements and all correspondence from David were submitted as evidence in the ongoing investigation. Just a word of friendly advice from me to you. If you ever, get an email and you are directed to call somebody and they tell you to download a bunch of apps on your phone, just say no. Doesn't matter who they are, just say no. Let's see real quickly. I wanted to check in. I just got a funny text from, this was, I believe, Jeremy sent this one. It's a meme. That's what it is. You see, it's AOC standing in front of a Subway sandwich shop, and she says, "Been waiting here for hours, still no train." Bless her heart. You are over in the chat room. Let's see here. Lady Cougs, it's a fish with teeth. All right. Curtis, It's a fish. Oh, they're referring to this one, the fish with teeth, otherwise known as a double bagger. Now, you see, that's not very nice. That's just, I mean, that's somebody's mother, daughter, offspring, sister, somewhere. Remember when your mom used to say, "Don't cross your eyes, I'll get stuck that way"? This is what happens. Just say no. This is a good one. You're down in Georgia. A man was arrested and faces state and federal charges. Hang on a second. I want to show you the man who is making the announcement. This is your neighborhood, your friendly neighborhood FBI, G-Man right there, making the announcement that, do I dare call him a dumbass? Yes, I will. A man was arrested, faces state and federal charges after ramming into the Federal Bureau of Investigation's Atlanta headquarters. He did this on Monday. It was April the 1st, so it's, April Fools. That's a good one right there. That is called full-on commitment. Never go full retard. He reportedly attempted to follow an employee's vehicle through the gate within the fenced-in perimeter after the person swiped their employee badge. After he collided with the gate, by the way, just a quick little lesson in words, because I was fascinated by this, and you should be too. So let's just, for instance, the boat that ran into the thing in the harbor, that was not a collision. That was an allision. Look it up. I'm like, wait a minute, that's not a word. But an allision, used mainly with boats and stuff, is when a moving object hits a stationary object. Most of the time, again, it's like with a boat and a stationary object. That is an allision. A collision is when you have two moving objects making contact with each other. Don't say you didn't learn nothing from Midweek Malarkey. So there is his there is his vehicle. There's another shot of his vehicle. Not I'm going to guess from the looks of it that is that has been totaled. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that his vehicle has been totaled. Now, what makes this even worse, by the way, the guy's name is Irvin Lee Bowling of South Carolina, 48 years old, so he should have known better. The FBI investigators have not shared any suspected motive for the driver of the, wait for it, Orange Buick Encore. Why did you buy a Buick? Anyhow, it rammed into the wedge barrier just inside the facility's gate. Bowling has not made yet his first court appearance. A bomb specialist searched the car before it was towed away, but the FBI has not said if any explosives or other weapons were found. I'm sure, however, that after a thorough investigation, we will get all of the details. Every one of them. Just like with the balloons. In Vegas. Baltimore. They'll tell it what? Don't look at me like that. They'll tell us the truth. There's no record of Bowling being booked into the DeKalb County Jail. Ruh-roh. Police spokeswoman said her agency was coordinating with federal officials as they worked to secure warrants on state charges. FBI officials would not share information about security protocols, according to spokesman Tony Thomas. He said it was, and again, where did Tony go? There he is. There he is. Who's a good FBI spokesperson? I am. I don't know if that's Tony Thomas or not, but neither do you. He's back to business as usual at the Chamblee facility as of yesterday, which was, again, Tuesday. And no, not finally. We still have one more. Police do need your help in finding a person. And again, this is down in Gwinnett County at the Walmart. I know, shocking. They're looking for the man in the picture. He's the one on the left there. It's the press release distributed by the Gwinnett County Police Department. I believe it was last week. They are seeking help from the public to identify a suspect who exposed his genitals to 3 female victims at, you guessed it, Walmart. I'm not going to say you're desperate when that's what you're doing in your spare time. One of the victims recorded her encounter with the suspect. She recorded her encounter with the suspect. She called 911. The suspect then fled the store before police arrived in a... Wait, what? Oh, this is horribly written. So the way... One of the victims recorded her encounter with the suspect and called 911. The suspect fled the store before police arrived in a white Mazda 4-door passenger car. No, the police didn't arrive in a... Did they go to journalism school? Did they go to sentence structure school? I don't think so. The suspect described as an older black male, approximately 5'6". Oh, he's 5'6". Poor guy has Napoleon complex. 180 pounds though, so he's hefting some weight around there. So a little short black dude you're looking for, tossing his junk out there for, you to see, just in case you're interested. And finally, let's talk some space junk. This just hit the wire services this afternoon. A fireball spotted over Southern California. They cannot get an even break out there, can they? Was likely the flaming wreck of an orbital module from China's Shenzhou 15 astronaut mission, which launched in November of 2022. A big piece of Chinese space junk crashed to Earth over Southern California. This happened yesterday morning, and apparently it was quite the show coming through the atmosphere. It created a blazing fireball witnessed by people from the Sacramento area all the way down to San Diego. Sure, that's what they're going to tell you. It was just a piece of space junk. They're not going to tell you it was really aliens, are they? But one alert person, Jennifer M., she captured this photo of the fireball in the skies of Earth from Phelan, California, just yesterday, forwarded it to the American Meteor Society. And again, they think that was Chinese space junk. Or is it? And finally, speaking of junk from space, right there, that is some junk from space. It's hard to tell scale in this, but apparently this was a few weeks ago. Something from the heavens came crashing through the roof of Alejandro Otero's home in Naples, Florida. Damn. People in Florida are always catching all kinds of crap, are they not? The sound that it made, apparently, was captured on tape or digital or a computer. And this is what a big old piece of space junk crashing through your roof would sound like. Right there. That is and just in case you wanted to know again, just to make sure that when you do hear this, right there. It sounds like opening a cluttered closet to me. But that is what you will see. That if that ever falls through your roof, and if it's not on fire, we don't need no water. Fill in the rest. In all likelihood, it's about 2 pounds worth of junk. And guess where it came from? The International Space Station. Huh. Otero wasn't home at the time, but his son was there. The Nest home security camera captured the sound of the crash at 2:30 in the afternoon. That's an important piece of information because it's a close match for the time that U.S. Space Command, Space Ghost, recorded the re-entry of a piece of space debris from the space station. At that time, the object was on a path over the Gulf of Mexico heading toward southwest Florida. Never to be seen again. Would you look at the time? Well, that seems like enough. I'm full. How about you? Remember, too much malarkey and people are going to start talking behind your back, if you know what I'm saying. Go ahead, smash that like button if you had some fun, even if you didn't. It still helps with that mythical allegory rhythm thing. Remember to subscribe to, and as always, join me and my concubine, Ron Phillips, tomorrow morning for the Daily Mojo. We've begun a new tradition, too. Saturday morning live. That's with Jeff Fisher, me, and a poor man Stu Bergier doing the announcing. You'll see. Until then, from the bottom of Habib's fourth stomach and second hump, I'm Brad Stagg saying, y'all come back now, you hear?